Thank you very much. I would like to invite all the leaders. What do we think we can do best, right? The first thing we always talk about is management. Most of us are managers. We look at projects. We try to finish things on time. And then all the time when we look at the management, few things we always look at is cost, time, resources, risk, unknown risk maybe, or known risk maybe. These are things we always look for. And if everything is given to you, let's say time is given to you, budget is given to you, and even if it is a constraint, we still try to meet that goal. So as a manager, what do? We attempt to meet the goal as developed by somebody else. Attempt. But how? That's where the difference between the manager and the leaders come into picture. But how? Leadership, I look at from PMI point of view, focusing the effort of a group of people toward a common goal, enabling them to work to team. There should be a good team, okay? Because if there's no good team, we don't have a leadership. But helping others to do activities is the most important point in leadership. These are theory for me, okay? So I will go a little bit more on that one. Leadership is being able to make the system, the project system, of working in a project autonomous environment where everybody is motivated and committed. So what is autonomous? See, if we want to lead a project, wouldn't it be nice that you go at 7 o'clock and turn back at 1 o'clock and still, it's like printing machine is still working all the time, and everybody's happy about that? Everybody's happy that I'm working in this project and feel satisfied, feel motivated. Won't it be nice? It's always nice, right? This is what leadership will do. They will make the team autonomous. They will make the team motivated. They will make the team to patch up if anything goes wrong within the project. So how do we do that? Maybe to give what we know and to love what we do. So first thing is, if I'm given an assignment, then I don't love that assignment. I cannot do that assignment from my heart because I don't love that assignment. So one thing, when we are tasked to do things, we need to make sure that this is the activity we want to do. So we need to love. Then, once we know that, if you have a team, you challenge the team. But challenge the team to do better. With the same resources, with the same timeline, with the same, environment, can we make them to do better? Can we motivate them? So first thing we need to understand is, why leadership anyway? So we want to motivate them. Why do we need to motivate them? We want to tell them what do we want to do. And we want them to do things that I want them to do in the project, and without me intervening all the time. So we need to have a view which is called a big picture, or the holistic view. Okay? So what is holistic view? When we talk about the project, we look at this box basically. We have organization under which we have to do project. And we have labor, means people. We have relationship, we have control, we have processing, everything inside. We are boxed inside the project. We get something, by the way, we get people, we get skills. Do we get relations? Maybe not. Maybe we are a project manager, we don't get the relation at all. But what about materials, energy, resources? We get that to do the project. Then at the end of the day, what do? I will create a work, I will create the value, and I will create the product. That's what project manager will do. Then I will be given rules, do this, ECP, engineering change procedure, budget, time, resources that you want, but at all the time, we are trying to say that, okay, can we minimize the waste, and can we minimize the problems that we get. This is inside project management. You look outside. People call it outside the box, right? You look outside the box, that's leadership. That means if you don't know what's happening inside the project, you cannot look outside. It's not out of the box. You need to know what's inside the project. So that means you are managing the project. At the same time, you are looking the constraints. How do I have to work? You are looking at the competitiveness, how environment is behaving. Should I be first or should I be more effective? I need to look at that. If I have to be first, let me be first. You don't need to cut throat anybody. You become consistent, you are praised to be a leader. So what do? You look outside. You look outside the boundary. So basically this one gives the boundary, constrained thinking, project management thinking. You look outside the boundary, leadership thinking. Because you think about the environment that will impact the project that you are trying to do. That's what differentiates leaders and project managers. The other point you need to do as a leader is think about the motivation of people. Because if people are not happy, for example, they are not motivated to work, and if they are not working, you can do nothing about it, right? I can delay things. I can say, okay, this thing happened, so I cannot do it. In my place, when I worked, they used to call it technical problem. Okay? Anything they cannot do it, they will say technical problem. It's not technical problem. It is their own problem. There's nothing called technical problem. Okay? Everything that's made by human can be solved by human. There's nothing that you cannot do it. So you need to motivate people. How do you motivate? Maybe there's something called theory of motivation. If you can create enough effort, maybe by training people. So you increase productivity. Then you will increase the performance. Okay? Productivity leads to performance. Performance will lead to some value, and then maybe to reward. But value is very cultural. Can we increase the value when we put enough motivation in the work? Maybe no. Maybe a part of the team is working very hard. They think that, okay, reward is very good. They think that, okay, after I get reward, I'll be valued very highly. But there's other team which is not working. You need to make them work too. That's the difference between being a leader and being a project manager. Project manager will feel that, okay, I have these people who are working very hard, I'll give them overtime and make them work. No, you need to involve all the people. This is very difficult, I know, because I worked myself in the factory, I worked in the government, I know the difficulty that I have. But I need to try. How do I try? I create the value. Value is very personal. So you need to be the person who is against you. What would you do if the person is against you? Okay, so you need to be that person. Then after that, you can slowly create the value. I worked in a company before I joined the government, and I had this difficulty of bridging the gap between people working in the workshop. I'm a mechanical engineer, by the way, first degree. Workshop and the management. I'm from the management because I happen to have a degree. These guys in the workshop, they don't think I know what they know. So what do? I need to motivate them and create the value within them. Oh, you are very good. I brought them and said, okay, you know how to do this process, right? You know all these material things. I don't know all these things. Can you help me to write what you are doing? Actually, they sat down and started writing. And 2 days later, they say, okay, this guy looks like he's helping us to work. This is creating the value. Help them to do things that you would like them to do. Then what do? Most of the things you have been telling, thumbing, all these things, you don't need to do it at all. They will do it for you, and they will praise themselves, and at the same time, you will get the benefit of that praise. So motivation. A leader has to create motivation within the project to become a project leader. This is a little bit complex now. I will go a little bit more on motivation part. If you look at this diagram, this is how we work every day. I have computers. Most of us work in computers. I have computers, the way we arrange computer software. I have some flexibility going here and there. I have some sequential work to be done. I need to tell what's my capability, what's my quality, what's my performance. These things every day I do. But most of the time, when the work is designed, we forget this part, which is the most important part. Okay? Why this part is most important part? This one cannot be driven if it is not there. If there are no people, there is no labor, how can you run the technical system? You might have very sophisticated, very nicely drawn technical system or the processes, but can you drive it? Do all organizations which have complex systems complex methodology, are they all successful? No. You need to drive the people. So how do you drive the people? There are individuals. You need to help them to fit rightly in power structure. Power structure means you help them to feel that they are counted in this particular project at all time. They should not feel that, no, I need to go to the boss and I need to get 3 different appointments before I is there. You make, this is what I say, I teach in the university, I tell my students, 24-hour open door policy. If I'm there, just come. That helps confidence. That helps to build up the confidence, okay? So then communication, then behavioral styles, then the value. Again, the value comes into picture. So all the time what we do in the leadership, we look at the market, we look at the change. How do you incorporate that change into your system, into your project? We look at the people and skills, and again, then we communicate. Every time we help them to communicate, and we receive the communication all the time. Most of the time can be talked and resolved very easily. But if it is not talked, there is something called power structure, which is always what you call distracting you from doing things in the right perspective. Then only we can create project value. So main thing we need to look at is people. Project management, some of this one, leadership. This is like project management. I have a project manager, I have task manager, I have so many whatever is that, and I have resources over here. In project management, it's tall and order. Okay, you give everything, you expect that people will do it for you. Tall. And I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It works. It works. Definitely it works. But we want to do the same thing in a little bit different way. We want to make people happy also. Not only get the work done, but also people happy. And the way to do it is a little bit different. You create what you call an environment where the group of the people come together all the time. Let's say these are all 5 different people. And one of them will be group leader, and 4 of them, all 5 of them will work in that particular task. Okay, if you have a big project, it can be like this. In that task, for example, one person does not come. What will happen? Any guess? One person doesn't come. So this is one task, this is another task, this is another task. Let's say this person did not come on a particular day. What's going to happen? In a normal project management, project is not going to run, right? Anybody say yes? No? Yes? Okay? Yes. But if you look from the leadership point of view, even if this person doesn't come or that person doesn't come, the work is still done. Why? Because it is the group effort. What you created autonomous system within the project. So what you do is, okay, if this person doesn't come, the person doesn't come for genuine reasons. In this one, the person doesn't come for, I have to go to Dukhan. Okay? This one, I have to go to Dukhan, but let me go on Friday or Saturday. I will take time for my family, definitely we need to do that, but I will take time based on what is needed on the project. If I'm needed on the project, then so far okay. We give the authority to the people to decide on themselves. We don't decide, let them decide. Just for leadership would mean being able to communicate what do we want to do, to make team members aware of what is in it for you, not me, for you. And inspiring the project participant, not being like Titanic means you do things at the late moment, like it's a proactive, not proactive, it's a crashing. Okay, you want to be reactive. Then we need to respect and trust. When we have autonomous, we are looking at the project and we are looking at the task, so we need to trust them. And again, we need to make sure that the commitment is there from the group and be sure to promote, fill in when it's needed. So if they think that there is something lacking in this one, I talked to this guy, he never listened to me. You go and talk to them and you make them listen. You bring the people to listen so that they can listen to other people also. So you can fill in. That will show that my leader is what I need him to do, him or her to do in my work. Okay? you promote yourself. So that means you need to set the example. You need to show that. You say open door policy, you are never there, then it's not open door policy. It's a closed door policy, by the way. Okay? So we need to set by example. You have to prove yourself you are able to do things by going to the root of the cause. I don't want to do too much things, but there are exceptional things that we need to think about. When we want to become a leader, anybody wants to become a leader, they need to have a certain degree of experience within themselves. This author called Malcolm Gladwell, he wrote a book called Outliers. It's a good book. Actually, sometimes you listen to your kids, also you get an idea. This book was given as a gift by my son. They said, Dad, this book is very good, How do you know? I read it. And why do you think it's good? Because it's all about computer science. He's a computer science graduate. So then I said, okay, bring it over me. I read it. I found a different thing. What I found is he did some research in people who are very successful. And he found that, especially in the IT sector, he found that like people from Apple or Microsoft, or anybody on that point of time, they had considerable time working in the same project. Like for example, Bill Gates, he worked more than 10,000, maybe 20,000 hours working in front of computer. You have to be expert. You should know the things. You should know the basics before you can embark on being a leader. So this guy, this Steve Jobs and Microsoft Bill Gates, they had an expertise to see what it takes to become a leader. Okay? A leader can make a very difficult path very easy. Okay? Today, you were supposed to do it yesterday, right? Sorry, yeah, I cannot do it yesterday. I was in trouble. Okay, can you do it today? You are buffer in your hand. You have buffer in your hand. So you will use that buffer in order to manage that particular task. But you are giving an inch to the person to say that I empathize with you. You are my people. You are my people who can give me the work that I need to do. But if it is a non-leader, hey, you were supposed to do yesterday. No, you were supposed to do yesterday. Now it's going to be penalized. Okay, finish. You're gone. Okay. Why you do it and how you lead the others is the difference between the project manager and the leader. Leadership means passion. You create pull. You make sure that people are asking for the job rather than you giving the job. So you create pull, become autonomous, but you instigate self-esteem. You make sure that they are valued more than you do. Okay? And you instigate self-actualization. What to expect in leadership then? Expect team growth, not only you, everybody grows. Then even a small set of individuals, it's okay. You need to work on your integrity, connectivity, your energy, your competence all the time. They will see you. Okay? Your self-esteem actualization would be of great value, and expect empathy. When you do work, when other people do work, appraise them. Make them show that you are being noticed. You do a very small thing, the boss will call you. Okay, hey Shaligram, come here. Okay, why? Oh, well, let's go and have a cup of tea. He will take me to hawker center. But in Singapore, hawker center is a nice place. Okay, nice place means you go out and drink in front of everybody, cha tea or something like that. You drink and you feel very happy. My boss is eating with me in hawker center. Be positive, practical, and always being a leader, not having only one plan A and B, also plan D. Focus on your ability to create and maintain relationship with the team above you and below you. In PMBOK guide nowadays, they call it stakeholder management. You talk to the people on the top, you talk to the people on the bottom. Both have to be managed properly. You don't need to be selfish to induce motivation. There's no harm in telling other people what you know. If you don't tell, people don't understand. If you tell, they will understand. You can have pretty good experience on project management tools and techniques and leadership skills. Okay? You have the ability to handsomely maneuver the project to desired goals, again, have the leadership skills. Then you have an ability to foresee the problem and risk that may or may not commonly arise. May not is important. And know at the time of the project, conceptual design, how do you make it happen until the end? And plus, you have the leadership skill. Plus, then all the time, when we have all these things, there's always room to grow, and we can become a leader. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shaligram.
You're welcome.
I think maybe we have the floor for 2 questions, maybe.
Yeah, please.
Is there any question?
Okay, it's, I think I'm asking you to compare between qualitative and quantitative output. You mentioned that if we remove time from the equation, then most probably the project will be successful as long as we achieve the goals. However, in reality, we always have those deadlines, and you always have to measure stuff. And
Yes.
some people can only communicate, not in values, but you have to communicate in numbers, let's say. So how can you give quantity on someone's motivated? How can you measure that? How can you measure other things that you mentioned to motivate the team?
There are a few things, thank you very much. There are a few things we do on a project. I do understand we have estimates, we have deadlines, we have timelines. And by the way, I have to control a few of the things. There's no other way out. You need to control. But what is project leadership is project management plus. This is what I put on the last slide. It's a plus. That means you still need to do what you need to do. You still need to have timeline. But that timeline may not come early, but it should not go too far away. But if it is a little bit far away, you have buffer. You need to manage the buffer. Okay? Buffer could be in terms of resource that you have, number of people that you have. Buffer could be in terms of time that you have. Buffer could be in terms of cost that you have. That management, using something called, they call it critical change, but what it means is that try to do things with as much less resources as possible in the beginning, and when you have extra resources, devote on the things that you have to do. They call it weakest link. Where is the problem? Problem has to be tackled properly. Yes, we have timeline, but some of the time we need to be very careful with the timeline. When you put too much stress on timeline, the quality suffers. You are looking at going to Mount Everest, or you are aiming at coming back. The quality is aiming at Mount Everest, even if it takes 1 more day or 2 more days or 1 more week. Okay, still you have to do that. Okay, one question.
Okay, well, we can have one more.
Yeah. My name is Victor Shamoka Katibanalami. I understand you mentioned 3 things that are very important in this presentation. We have the content, which is the project. We have the processes, which is the way that the organization has to follow. And we have the human being. While you were explaining the behavioral aspect and the process, you mentioned that we have the autonomous hierarchy. I call it a kind of managerial hierarchy, whereby the project manager or the leader is at the top, yes, and it got some experienced people that communicate with that this have a team. But on the other hand, I get some project leaders said, no, this is no longer functional. You need to have a kind of organization whereby everybody interacts together without any project leaders and any person reporting to the leader take it back to the top. So I am a kind of like bit confused on which of them should a leader work with. Do we have to have project group, or you have to remove this hierarchical structure and make it open to everybody?
Good question. Okay. Let me answer like this. Any project can be done in many different project organization types. Can be vertical, can be horizontal. People are surviving with this kind of projects. The way I am trying to put my case is, yes, we need to do the project. Which type of organization? I'm not looking at organization as hierarchical organization in project. I'm looking at how to motivate the people for doing a particular task within the project. We found that it is much faster, easier, and effective to do work in the group because they are self-motivated. A leader, we need to help them to be autonomous. They know the thing, they do the thing, they are happy about doing the things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. We can continue the questions outside with the snacks outside with Dr. Shaligram. Yeah. I'd like to thank Dr. Shaligram for his presentation, and on behalf of PMI-AGC-Qatar region, we'd like to thank you for this.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Any question, just let me know. I'll be outside, so it should not be a problem.